Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is John Phillips, co-founder of PredictIt, the stock market of politics. And John, we typically talk about what could potentially be happening in 2024 with the national election, but I would argue just as important, if not more so, we need to think about the midterms because that really does decide the direction of our legislation.
That's right. And it's game time already for the 2022 Senate and House races.
Right. And so let's take a look at what predicted traders are saying. We could start with the House first and see what they're thinking there.
Sure. So the traders have been pretty consistent in thinking that Democrats are going to control the Senate, but not by much. I mean, there's 52% odds, up a penny today, that Democrats will retain control of the Senate. But, you know, it's almost 50-50. And what's really interesting on the House side, it's not even a contest in terms of as the predicted traders see it. They see the House going to the Republicans, 69% odds that it'll go Republicans. And of course, this ties into the money raising. Who's going to be the next Speaker of the House, right? Because that, depending on who's the Speaker, which party controls the House, that's the party that gets to pick the Speaker. So this is interesting because the traders seem to be absorbing the information about fundraising by the would-be Speaker of the House in 2022, after the 2022 election. When Kevin McCarthy is where the money is. Traders think by 60% odds that McCarthy is going to be the next Speaker of the House of Representatives. Pelosi, only 12% odds. Steve Scalise, the Republican from Louisiana, is 3% odds. Hakeem Jeffries is at 14% odds. And of course, they even have Trump in there at 6% odds. I'm not sure how that would work, but it's only 6% odds. What's happening in the money raising contest is certainly informing what traders are saying. McCarthy raised $45 million with his Republican colleagues for the NRCC, the Republican campaign arm, compared to $36 million for the Democrats. Now, the Democrats are going to say that this was their second best fundraising tally in history. And that's true, but it's also significantly behind the Republicans. Expect those numbers to seesaw back and forth because where the money goes is what the interests think will be the result of the 2022 elections. And the money right now is that the Republicans are going to take control of the House of Representatives and Kevin McCarthy is going to be Speaker of the House. The overall race in California is also really interesting. Can I talk about that for a minute?
Yes. I thought the numbers were interesting as well. I mean, it's kind of a runaway for Newsom, but
yeah. I mean, what a difference from when Davis was recalled and Schwarzenegger was put into office as a result of a recall effort. Newsom has succeeded at deterring any really strong Democrats from running to succeed him as a result of the recall effort. So what do the odds there show? Well, Newsom's at 89% odds to withstand the recall. Kevin Paffreth, who we spoke with last week, he's at 8% odds, and he's the only one close to 10% odds in the eyes of predicted traders at being able to replace Newsom. You've got Kevin Falconer, Larry Elder, and poor Caitlyn Jenner. She was considered to be a potential threat long ago. And in politics, long ago can be just weeks, right? Caitlyn Jenner just flew to Australia for several weeks to shoot her sitcom, her reality
show. Well, if you're that interested in campaigning, being on a shoot might not be, it doesn't show much how you're prioritizing what you want to do in life.
Right. But I think the priority, and I think that's right. And as a result, her odds are down to 1% odds. So that's 100 to 1.
Well, you know what, John, regardless if it's, or she has her own reality show. I mean, look, Trump got in office. So it's not too far off to think that a celebrity would take another office. But I feel like the general mood in this country is, enough with celebrities in politics. We need people who have been in public service. Governing is a lot of work. Campaigning and raising money is one thing, but the job of governing it's complex.
Well, and the campaigning and the raising money is not a walk in the park either. Every politician complains they have to spend too much time raising money and campaigning. Well, politicians are kind of supposed to spend their time campaigning, and raising money is one way to prove credibility. But you're quite right. I mean, look, the recall effort may have been doomed from the start. One of the most likely significant challengers from the right, his papers did not apparently qualify him among the 43 candidates who were qualified, although there's a legal challenge on that, as there always will be. Look, stay tuned. The election's in September, and the ballots go out in August. It's still going to be an exciting race, and the margins are going to be very important. But it doesn't look like, at least the PredictIt traders think, that Newsom is in any trouble. But I'd keep an eye on Paffrath and the other candidates. This is no governor of any state wants to be the subject of a recall effort. It is brutal. And in California, it can be deadly. So that's for today.
All right, John. Appreciate it as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thanks, Jill. See you next week.